Speaking, as we talk about in-house with Demetrius, what have you thought, Eddie, when people are saying, stop banging the drum for Andrade Charlo and get him the fights that are maybe more realistic on DAZN with Munguia and with Golovkin?
But they're not in-house fights. They're in-network fights. I don't represent those fighters. And if I did, I would be telling them, you got to fight Demetrius Andrade. Because I can't say to Golden Boy, look, you have to. And listen, DAZN would love to see Munguia against Andrade or Golovkin against Andrade. But, Jaime Munguia, when he moved up to middleweight, was told by the WBO, you're mandatory to Demetrius Andrade. He said, no, thank you. Just leave me alone for a minute, right? I don't blame him. Let me have a couple of fights at 160. What's he had, 4 fights at 160?
Yeah.
Now they've gone back and said, you're mandatory. And he went, I'll fight an eliminator against Derevyanchenko. Why? When you can fight for the world title on our platform. Do you know what I mean? So it's incredibly frustrating. But when they say, don't worry about your other guys, look at your in-house guys. I don't have any in-house guys at 160 to fight Demetrius Andrade. Right? Why do we have to look in-house? Why doesn't Charlo say, I want to unify? He's a 32-0 brilliant American world champion against a 31-0 brilliant American world champion.
Both of them were champions at 154, now they're both champions at 160.
It's a mega fight.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, obviously there's a bit of animosity and a bit of, they've had their back and forth in the past, so I think that fight...
It's a big fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pay-per-view fight. And Demetrius don't outprice himself. Listen, Charlo against Derevyanchenko was on pay-per-view. Yeah?
Yeah,
so,
but it was with the brother.
No, but that was main event.
Yeah, no, but they gave you both brothers on pay-per-view.
Mate,
Son, we've never
listen,
got.
we'll do it again then. Do it again.
And remember, the first
but
Harrison was on.
Charlo, who cares? Charlo against Andrade is a massive fight compared to what they've put on there. And I bet the money's the same. Yeah? So you've put that on pay-per-view. Why not put this on pay-per-view?
Eddie, yesterday the WBO mandated that they ordered.
Oh no! How convenient.
Johnny Beckham to fight Demetrius Andrade. Will that interfere with the Charlo situation?
Of course it will. And how convenient was that? Yeah. We write to the WBC, who have the ability, by the way, within their rules, as the only governing body that has that in their rules, to order their champion to fight another champion from another division, another governing body.
Yeah. No
One day later, you got a mandatory from the WBO against some guy I've never even heard of. No disrespect
to him. The president, though, he took a side. He said he wasn't going to mandate any champion anyway. Paco came out on his Twitter and said
Paco can't because it's not in their rules. It's in the WBC rules. They can order a mandatory for their champion against another champion.
Now, how would this situation be different from Adonis Steven and Sergey Kovalev? That one was WBC, one was WBO, and then when Al won the purse bid, Kovalev, Kathy Duva stood on HBO. They didn't do the fight with Adonis.
I have absolutely no idea what relevance that has. But what I do know is
the same WBO and WBC.
But what I'm saying is what we're doing. Yeah, but what we're doing is we're asking the WBC to order that fight. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's who ordered it. That's history.
Yeah, but Paco then has the right to say we approve that or we don't approve that. Okay. But we wrote to both governing bodies and said, Maurizio, please order Charlo to fight Andrade for the good of boxing. Paco, just to let you know, we've written to Maurizio Suleiman. If he orders that, please accept that as for the good of boxing. 48 hours later, we get another mandatory put on us. Right? For a guy, no disrespect to the guy, he's a good fighter. I know he is, I'm being facetious. But come on. Who wants to see that?
No one.
So now I'm in the situation where I've got to get creative. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Maybe Andrade moves up to 68 and becomes mandatory as the WBO world champion. But we've got to do something because we can't go and fight that fight again.
Lastly, is Canelo Makabu going to be on DAZN if that actually is?
Listen, I will be doing everything I can to get Canelo Alvarez back on DAZN. And not even just for DAZN, to Matchroom. I mean, it's a dream to work with a guy. Makabu, Gennady Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol, a fight in the UK. We will present 4 options to Canelo Alvarez. He'll get 10 options from other people as well. Hopefully he chooses us.
Does he make easy work of Makabu?
No, I think it's a tough fight. I spoke to Tony Bellew about that fight. Makabu punches very, very hard. Of course, there's a huge size difference. in that fight. But Canelo Alvarez is a genius. You know, he's a king, and I would make him a favourite in that
I
fight.
got one question. You mentioned getting creative with Demetrius Andrade, mentioning him going to 168. If he does go to 68, would Canelo be one of those options that you consider making the fight for him if he went up there at 68?
Possibly. I mean, he could become mandatory to Canelo Alvarez, but you know, at the end of the day, Canelo wants to fight Makabu. He wants to fight the champions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
You know,
it'd be a great rivalry fight. You know, they have a lot of
of
history.
course, yeah. But Canelo's not gonna. Yeah, Canelo's ducking no one. Let's be honest. He'll fight anybody, but he does want to fight the champions. But if a fight out there makes sense with Demetrius, would he look at it? It's a question for him. But you know, right now, I like Canelo Alvarez trying to become undisputed at 75.
That's 75. So
Dimitri Bivol, Joe Smith, Beterbiev. He can do that. And if he becomes undisputed at 175 as well, and maybe throw in a little cruiserweight fight as well, but the guy's chasing history and legacy, you know, and he's going to do what him and Eddie Reynoso want to do.
Thanks, Eddie.
All right?
Thanks, Eddie.